Our traumas can either break us or help remake us. So it's not always there to sort of tear us down. It can make us stronger and more resilient. We all have a shadow side to ourselves. We all have something we're suffering with, something that makes us feel sad. It's parts of us. Sometimes it's suppressed, sometimes hidden away, sometimes not such a big deal. For some people have worked through things, but there'll always be a nagging something. I'm always working on myself, so I'm always healing and growing. And even when you recognize a negative in some way, you can't always 100% rectify it because some things are outside of your control. So with me, the one thing I've noticed, and it's probably just part of my journey, because we all have a path in life, I seem to get betrayed a lot. People rarely stay. And when you unravel that, because we do, you have to be honest with yourself. It's easy to think everything's someone else's fault because that's naturally what we do. Now, I'm a rather pure person, in all honesty. I'm not revengeful, I'm not spiteful. So it can seem a bit like martyr, really. It can seem like you're trying to be too perfect. I'm not. I'm just speaking from who I am. People expect all these negatives. I'm not a negative person. I can be stubborn. I can be. My cut-off game's quite strong, so I have immense boundaries. But those boundaries come from the experiences. So that's what I was going to get round to in a moment. I'm loyal to a fault, but only really to those I love. Again, from experience. So I'm not someone that betrays people. I'm not someone that runs off when things get hard. I just find most people are flaky, and that's why I do videos sometimes. I talk about disappointments and flaky people because that's not who I am. I'll stand by side with someone, but most people people tend to be the ones that leave, and I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. I couldn't give an answer to it. But when I talk about a shadow self, a vulnerability, something that bothers us deeply to our core, something really bothers us. Most people don't want to face it, they won't want to admit it. For me, it's those betrayals and disappointments. The realization that much of my life is spent alone. It's quite sad. Can make me emotional. I'm very independent, so I isolate anyway. I withdraw my energy sometimes. So I like those moments alone anyway. But sometimes it can get a bit drawn out and longer than you thought. But then it's like, who came to check on you? Who is there for you? And who runs away? And that's the shadow side of me. That's my vulnerable part of me. The over loneliness at times. I haven't found people strong enough to stand in my presence. And that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we're gonna see things in a way that some people, again, they'll think is arrogant, egotistical. But that's someone's perception of things. I'm living it. I'm there for people. But most people just don't stay. And like I said, I don't know the exact reason why they don't. I get disappointed so much time and time again. I might meet someone and I think, you know what, we've got a great chemistry. But I'm never the priority. Never the first choice. I don't know. Maybe I make people insecure because I have a confidence in myself. I'm intelligent. You can't bullshit me. So there's a resilience about me. Maybe it's easier for people not to get close. Maybe it's easier for people to walk away. But it gets sad when it's continual and habitual. So that's the biggest shadow side of me. Is that over loneliness. But what I'm saying is our traumas are the things that also can become our strength. So it's through those abandonments, those withdrawals, those lonely moments, where I've learned a detachment to people. Without that, you can be overly attached to someone to the point where when someone leaves, you lose a huge part of yourself. It's only natural because it's a part of your daily life. It's part of who you are. Without them, you don't feel the same. You don't feel normal. I've had those moments, but now I'm sort of landing. I'm standing on my own 2 feet far more now because I don't have people I can rely on. It's so few. Like literally my mum and my daughter. That's it. That's literally it in my life. That's who I can rely on. My mum's only getting older, so soon it'll be my daughter. Of course, she'll have her own life. I won't hold her back at all. So soon, for the most part, I'll only have me. Pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Especially when I spend so much of my life helping people. I've been more passive helping now in my life than active. Been like that for a few years now, once I started to recognize people. Before, I used to I would give an awful lot of myself, my time, money, energy. I would give to people, they would betray me. I'd feel like that would hurt. You try to do something nice and it's just thrown in your face, or used against you. It's just you become harder for it. And I realized, what if I use that same energy and time on me rather than others? Like if I literally focused on me, how far could I go? I've written 5 books at this point. I've gone on and done an awful lot, and it's like, wow, look what you can do. So I've learned a lot about myself, and I've gained a lot of wisdom, a lot of strength of character. Also become more focused on success, ambition, more than I've ever been. And that came from those betrayals, those letdowns. But I don't give up on people. So I'm like, I still want to help people, but not put myself in a place where I can get hurt anymore. I don't need that in my life. I don't need people to keep destroying my momentum. So that's really where the books came in and other aspects to it. But these are passive ways I can help people. I can help people without being in their life. I can help people without getting close to me. So I can still do what I want to do. It's safer. It's far more efficient. So that's what I've done. I've found a new way to help people that doesn't put me at risk of getting setback after setback after setback. Like I say, I haven't met anyone that will stay. When you're in love, you think they're going to stay. You're building a life together. You talk of marriage, talk of a better future. Then they betray you and start throwing out false accusations to fit a narrative that they want to create to suppress you, and it's like, whoa, that's the biggest stab in the back anyone could do. Makes you lose a lot of faith in love and romance and relationships. Like I said, those traumas are what makes us strong in another way, though. It can make you too detached. That's the only problem. And again, that's where the shadow self, really the shadow work comes in. You don't want to become someone you're not, like a Lex Luthor or something, some sort of evil, crazy villain. You don't want to become that person. But you need to use experiences to help make you stronger and more resilient. So that's what I've become. I'm open to love. I'm transparent with people I meet. But I'm always prepared for the worst. So it doesn't hurt so much when it happens. In the past, a failed relationship, broken union, it would break me, like literally destroy me. I would question myself. I would question my reality. I would question everything and not feel good enough. But over time, and as I've grown and I've watched other people more, that's another thing. I've been more observant of people now. I've realized I'm pretty incredible. I am. I am incredible. And I admit it. I'll admit it. Like I said, I'm a pure person. I'm honest. I'm transparent. I'm not fake. I'm not false. I don't live a superficial life. I live a life based on integrity and morals and being authentic. That matters to me more than anything. So no one can buy me. No one can do any of that with me. And that's very rare the more I watch people. Most people can be bought. Most people can be tempted. Most people can lose their entire life to someone else's, you know. It's like, that ain't happening with me. But yeah, I still have an intention of helping people. So I am kind and I am caring and compassionate. I'm also guarded, resilient, have strong boundaries. So I've learned to contrast that, not give myself so freely and unconditionally to people, depending on who they are. So I have traits that make me unique. So when situations seem to be destroying me, they were molding me into who I am, to recognize what I offer, how rare I am, and how whoever gets me better be someone remarkable. Effectively, all I've met so far are people unworthy of my time. And yet I beat myself up in the past thinking I'm not good enough. Reality is they were never good enough. That's why they couldn't stay. They weren't good enough to be staying around me. Effectively, I was making them potentially, maybe they saw qualities in me that made them feel insecure. That's what I'm learning. Again, if we start going down a different path, you could say all of a sudden your confidence in yourself is now arrogant, it's egotistical. There'll always be a negative to a positive. It's all polarizing. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know? It seems to be society would rather have us on our knees, feeling sorry for ourselves, ridicule us. And that's a better state of being. But when you value yourself and you recognize your qualities and you overcome and heal from something, because you have a newfound confidence in yourself and you see yourself in a better light, now you're arrogant and egotistical. Where do we win? I don't understand. So yeah, it still hurts when people leave, especially when I have so much faith in them. And I think this is going to be long term now. Finally, someone that gets me and someone that's finally going to stay, and we're going to have a long term friendship or relationship. And then they run away, just like everybody else. And it's like, maybe this is the life I have to live. Maybe I never get to meet people on the same wavelength as me, someone in alignment. Maybe my path is always to meet people, move on, meet people, move on. And that is a fate bound for some of us, and potentially that's what it is. Continual experiences, rather than see that as a negative, you can see that as a positive. You're always learning, you're always experiencing, you're always going into new situations, never stagnant. That's not a negative. So there's always a positive to a negative, negative to a positive. It's just the way it is. Again, this is me looking through my shadow. You asked me, if someone was to ask me your biggest vulnerability, my biggest vulnerability is my insecurity with people not being good enough. Because it seems to be I am not good enough, but now I'm learning they're not good enough for me. That was my shadow, figuring that one out. I haven't met the people for me yet, and it's learning to have that character and strength within to recognize your greatness, to not allow someone's view of you to destroy you. You know, at the end of the day, we're only responsible for ourselves. I can't make someone else be loyal. I can't make someone stay. I can't make someone see my qualities. I can't make someone like me. I can't make someone love me. I can't make anyone do anything. All I can do is be me in every moment. And if it's not enough, then move on. That's fine. I'll continue pushing on, and maybe one day I'll meet people that do understand me and respect me and like me. Cherish me even. And they don't run away. And there's a loyalty. Or maybe I never find that. And that's not my path. It is what it is. Like I said at the start, it may be something I do too. We're not all 100% pure. We're not all 100% great. You know, there's going to be sides to us that grind on people. I can be quite abrasive. I can be very outspoken. It can grind on people. People might not like my views on the world. They like the fact that I'm so transparent. I overshare. There's all these little things someone else will see in me. But I don't do things out of revenge. I don't do things out of spite. Perhaps reckless sometimes. But I think freedom of speech is really important to be able to express ourselves. So when we are expressing ourselves, we're not always going to share the same opinions, and people need to be okay with that. And again, that's where that flaky thing comes in. People run off. But yeah, like I said, our shadow self is looking into our insecurities, our vulnerabilities, our negative, and work on them. So those insecurities, those vulnerabilities, they don't become something that handicaps or hinders you. It becomes part of your strength. Like I said, it's helped create something within me that makes me very resilient now. I don't get so upset when someone leaves. I just get disappointed that they left. I get disappointed in them that they went. So that's why I talk about disappointments more now. I don't talk about being upset, revenge. I don't talk about like I'm broken because that person left me. I just say that's disappointing that they left because yet another one's gone. I expected them to leave anyway, so it didn't surprise me. Sometimes you get your hopes up a little, but in the back of my mind, I'm always expecting the worst. It's just that's what people show me, you know. When someone shows you enough, you kind of have to listen, and that's what people have shown me more than anything is that most don't stay, and that's okay.